What's up, everybody? Mount Vernon Kid here again, coming to you with the opinion spot. How everybody doing on their end? Hope everybody is well. Um, so you probably are. So the topic for today on the opinion spot is my thoughts, basically, on the Green Hornet slash movie slash trailer that's been aired for a while. Special thanks to Deadpoolzilla and Mr. Drayton for sending the trailer to me again. I said it before and I'll say it again. Um, my verdict, bottom line, I know a lot of people always want to hear my thoughts on it, and I appreciate that. Bottom line, I like it. New twist on the classic hero. Um, T, my man T Zilla said it best. I see a mixture of Iron Man in there, you know. Um, but I enjoy it, and I'm gonna explain a little bit more. I'm gonna explain why and talk a little bit more about the movie. I showed it to my father and my uncles who grew up. They all grew up watching the show. His brothers watching the show, and my uncle Kurt pretty much said it the best. He said it. It looks good. It looks like a new twist for the new generation. Speaking of the younger generation and basically us who didn't grow up with that show. But then he broke it down a little bit more for me. He says, I have no doubt that, he said, Chris, I have no doubt that Mr. Rogan's gonna do a pretty decent job as Britt uh, Britt Britt Reed, Green Hornet. I'm about to say Arrow, but Green Hornet. But the main person you really should be thinking who is gonna have the most pressure to live up to is Mr. J. Cho. And he said, because Chris, who played Kato before him? I came back, said Bruce Lee. They said, that's right, your boy Bruce Lee. So he has the most to live up to, just how much as Quentin Rampage Jackson had to live up to playing B.A. Baracus in the A-Team movie. So you kind of see the continuity about the two characters, because both characters were played by iconic characters who made that character well known. So I just wanted to get that out there real fast. But let's talk a little more about the movie. All right, give Mr. Seth Rogen credit where credit is due, guys. Most definitely. Why? Because this movie has had its ups and downs from the day Sony or whatever has said they're making a movie. It had its ups and downs. We all knew Seth Rogen was gonna play the main protagonist, but from finding a suitable Kato, at one point they said Stephen Cho from movies like let's see, a movie that probably many people have seen, Kung Fu Hustle. He was gonna be Kato, but there was a dispute between Sony and it didn't go. Nicolas Cage was gonna play the main villain in this in the movie, but unfortunately he didn't sign on. So they had to they got Mr. Christopher Waltz to play the main villain in this movie. There were talks of Cameron Diaz going to be in the movie as Casey. She signed on, and you saw her in the trailer. But there were a lot of things, script wise. What direction were they gonna go with this movie? Many situations, as well as the release date. at one point the release date was going to be this year, January 25th, 2010. And I was looking forward to that. But now we know it's going to be next year of January. So, not bad, Let's talk a little bit more about Seth Rogen as well. Give more credit to the man. Stayed committed to the role. Like I said, with all those complications that were going on, some other actor probably would have said, I have other projects I can deal with. I'm done with this. Find somebody else to do it. And move on. But Mr. Rogen stayed true, and I give him credit and respect, a lot of respect for doing that. It just feels that, he stayed committed from all the weight he lost. It looks like he's in good shape for the role. You could literally see it on him, like he's lost a lot of weight. And I like when actors do that. To show they're committed to the role, like getting into shape. Don't look like you're not even in shape for the role. Ben Affleck, but things like that. I just feel that shows commitment. But like going back to my uncles and my father, when I showed them the trailer, they got nostalgic and they were like, "Man, you remember when Batman and Green Hornet they fought?" And one of my uncles was like, "Yeah, man, I remember that." And Kato was getting his ass beat by Robin. Get the hell out of here! And I was like, "Oh God!" It was so funny listening to them, but it was good. It was good to see that the older generation fully behind it. Like, okay, different times, different, Then let's talk a bit more about Mr. Cho. Now I know I've been reading a lot of remarks about him, like, the dude's not even Chinese. He's Taiwanese. Yes, he's a Taiwanese actor / singer. But like I've said before, he has the most to live up to playing Kato. But from what I saw, he doesn't look too bad as Kato. I think he's gonna pull it off just well. I mean, he's no Bruce Lee. Yes, he's no Bruce Lee. But I think Mr. Lee would say, you know what? Yes, he's not me, but he's going to do just fine. All right? But then let's talk a little bit more about the slow motion that I think my man T and Zip have been talking about as well. Yes, the slow motion John Woo feel. And don't get me wrong, I'm a huge John Woo fan. I love his work. But that's getting a little old now, Hopefully, I'm hoping that's just for the trailer. You know what I'm saying? I'm hoping that's just for the trailer and not for the whole movie. I'm hoping that's just, like I said, just for the trailer. Excuse me. Repeating myself. And I'm hoping that when it comes to the real movie, it's really fast-paced action. Then Deadpoolzilla T, my man T, said something else that I really thought key, and I would bring it back up again, was about hopefully Seth Rogen doesn't make Green Hornet look like a goofball when he's in the fight. Like, what he does is a goofy move that got the bad guys knocked down, and he's looking like, oh wow, did I do that? Because from what I remember and from what I'm read, the Green Hornet, I gotta say it like that because I'm on the verge of saying Green Arrow off the top of my head, people. I promise you. He was always a fairly decent fighter. Always a fairly decent hand-to-hand combat. He wasn't on league par with Kato, but he could hold his own in a fist fight. So hopefully that doesn't live. But from what we saw, it didn't look like that. And that's just some trailers. Let's talk about the Black Beauty. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And then also talks about, they're saying it might, because of Seth Rogen, is going to be more comedy than action. If it is comedy in it, it's Seth Rogen. You know there's going to be comedy in it. but I think it's going to be a good mixture of both two genres. Okay. And then in the trailer we heard they used Cypress Hill's "Rise Up," which you can hear right now. I don't mind that at all. But bottom line, it guys, I'm looking forward to it. It should be a pretty decent revenue for Dynamite as well when the movie comes out for this new generation. With all the superhero movies coming out for 2011, Green Hornet will fit right in with it. In my book, it's gonna be a sleeper, I guarantee you, but it's gonna do very good in my book. That's my opinion.